going on, guys? Welcome back to Drummers Paradise podcast. Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm great, T. How are you, buddy?
Good. I'm really looking forward to this episode. We got an amazing special guest in here tonight.
Yeah, there's lots to jam-packed in this episode today, so you guys are going to want to stick around and see what we got to offer. We've got Shan Bricker today. Shan, welcome today.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Nice to see you.
This has been great, man. I've already enjoyed it, and we've only been hanging out for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Sure. That's right. Let's jump to a clip of you crushing the kit. We'll be right back, okay? Perfect.
Check it out. Great playing, Shan.
Okay. I mean, I trust your judgment. A few mistakes in there, but, you know, I got through it. No train wrecks. No casualties.
No, you wrote it that way. You wrote it that way.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
Perfect. So what bands could everybody know you from?
Presently,
yes.
I do a lot of subbing, so I'm in all kinds of groups that I just get a call. But the two that I've really dedicated to is Seeds of Eden, which is I would say kind of a progressive, but it's really hard to pigeonhole at this day. You know, I don't really know how people would give a name to a style or a genre anymore because there's just so much cross-pollinated, blurry lines.
Yes, you're right.
And then the other one is very much a blues project, but with, again, some tinges of some funk and some old soul, which is the Ian Andrews Band.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a guitar player in my neck of the woods, so Kitchener, Hamilton area.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect. So why don't you let us know how you got into drums and what was that aha moment that got you into playing
Well,
drums?
here's weird. It's actually a wild story because I got pushed into it. But I'm a second-generation musician. So my parents had a dance band. My dad was a big jazz guy and played with a lot of Canadian known jazz people. I mean, not regularly, but enough. You know, Guido Basso, Terry Clark, Don Thompson, Ed Bickert, you know, like really heavy players. And needless to say, they just seemed to recognize that I had a natural affinity to keep time, and I really don't know. I started when I was 5.
Yeah, you got great flow.
Yeah, I started getting lessons when I was a little kid with a practice pad and a pair of sticks. Sticks were bigger than I was. And I just kept with it. My parents were let's just say, my motivator. I wanted to play basketball and hang out with friends, and it was get home and practice. So I practiced, and I just kept at it, and then took a little bit of a hiatus to be a dad. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So you can't do as much playing as you want, right? But after that, got right back at kids. Kind of grew up, got independent. Dad, leave us alone. You're embarrassing us. Go away. So Dad picked up the drums again, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Yeah,
That's super cool.
yeah. So it's not really that, glorious or dramatic a story, but it was just that my parents said, "Hey," and then I actually played my first professional gig at 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was that?
It was a 50th anniversary, I think, was what it was, like a wedding anniversary. And it was out near home for me, which was just north of Elmira, Ontario.
Oh, yes.
And it was this little club, this little venue, kind of a wedding private party venue. Played this gig, and that was it. I kind of kept up with it, and it actually did really well through high school. It was a great side hustle.
Nice.
And got me some moolah too, so I appreciate that.
Speaking of all that, did you ever take lessons? How did that
I
go?
did, and in fact, you're probably going to run into his name more than once. Gentleman's name was Gary Tomlin, and I know that you've had some other guests and some still to come that have taken lessons with Gary. Gary was instrumental. He had a very strong link to Humber through Roger Flock, if you remember Roger's name, and Roger's of course
Very
now.
good of him.
Since after retired, but he was instrumental in getting a lot of us started. He was a stickler for rudiments, a stickler for practicing, stickler for reading.
Very important things.
Like grade 2 theory. He wanted us all to have theory, and he was a drum corps teacher. So he knew his chops and was a player, and so that's really who influenced me, but not drum kit. It was all practice pads, snare drum, and sticks.
Rudiments.
You got it. The paradiddles, the ratomacues, the flams, the roughs, the drags, the double stroke rolls, the 17-stroke rolls, the 6-stroke roll was a big one. And that's all I employ on the kit now. That's all I use.
What were your top 3 rudiments?
Oh, double strokes for sure. 6-stroke roll for sure.
Yeah, see another one.
I guess you could say, and I would get my drags and my roughs mixed up. One is crammed together very closely, and one is more of a like a single with a double, but a variation of that, I would say, with the 3. And flams too.
Yes.
Paradiddles, I'm sure I use, but I don't think I realize I'm using them.
No.
They just kind of come out. You know what I mean?
Are we
But
doing the paradiddle challenge today?
Yeah,
what's the paradiddle challenge? I don't even know. What's the paradiddle
Are you
challenge?
down for doing the paradiddle? We'll see how fast you can do it.
How fast you
Okay.
can do it
All right. I'll
paradiddle.
give it a shot.
All right, let's jump
Now,
to that.
I was going to say, do I have to do the accent too?
Well, you can.
You have to do the, if it's a true paradiddle, you got to do the accent.
You got to do the accent
All
on the
right.
chord.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Perfect. We'll jump to that and we'll be right back.
Sean, paradiddle challenge. We're going to start you off at 100 BPMs and work our way up to 20.
Okay. So we're going up by 20s?
Going up by 20s.
All right. Let's go.
Here we go. All right, you got that?
Okay.
Let's go 120. All right, 140. Okay, 160. All right, 180.
This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like, is there going to be like a big payout at the end? Okay.
You never know. Okay, we're hitting 200. Okay, clean.
Thank you.
220.
was a little sloppy, but I was there. I mean, I could do it
Should we try 220
without having to do the. If I don't have to do the accent, it makes it a lot easier.
240? We're going to take it to 240.
I don't think I'm going to pull off
you ready
240,
for
guys.
this?
I'll try, but.
No.
No. I'd fall apart
220 it
somewhere
is.
between 220 and 240.
Thanks for doing the challenge.
You betcha, guys.
TA.
Huh? Am I at least in like the
Sean.
top
There you go.
5?
Yeah, you should be there for this
Yeah?
season.
Okay.
You are
All right.
definitely.
Okay, I'm hoping so. All right.
Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Speaking of that, so did you, you mentioned you played some gigs. You did that in high school. You did that, some one-off stuff. Did you ever become a working drummer by any chance, or
Yeah.
any dipped your toes into that?
Through the 90s, and you guys probably can relate to this too, there were clubs everywhere. You as a sideman could be working 6 nights a week. And it was the heyday of live music. And even in around my town, which is the Waterloo region, there were just clubs after club after club, and there were open jams, and there were great little sort of impromptu gatherings of musicians, and you just always were working. So I would say from about 92 to about 97, and then again, family began and little people began to arrive, and it was like, okay, you know what? You
slow
can't be
down.
the selfish
100%.
rock and roll guy and running around all over. So it's time to buckle down. So I did the 9 to 5 for a while,
Yeah.
but then now I'm back at it, making it a full-time career.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
And I just want to say, if everybody doesn't know, Sean, you got bang on drums,
Oh, yes.
right? Bang on drums.
Thank you. Thank you.
We had a great time not that long ago out there, actually, where we had the pleasure
Yeah,
to go
we had
and visit.
we had fun. That
It
was a great
lot
day.
of fun. And your store's a beautiful store.
Did he say he was 73
Yeah,
years
he's like
old?
73 years old, yes.
Paul the Long, folks, 73 years old. I want to be breathing at 73. This brother can rip like I've
Yes.
always remembered.
Oh, yeah.
He was outstanding.
Yeah.
What a great afternoon.
Such a great gentleman, such a great drummer.
Yeah, a great human being, right?
100%,
He was
yeah.
just such a relatable guy, and he was milling around and talking to everyone, and he even got one of my students who was what, maybe 10? Can't remember how old he is, but up on the kit to entertain the room. So he's a good soul for sure, and a talented player.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So tell us more about Bang On Drums and what you do with that.
So Bang On really was birthed out of my sweetheart saying, if you don't get your crap out of my basement, you're going to be sleeping on that couch. And I said, okay, that's enough motivation for me. We had a restaurant together, which was a live music venue.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
And so we had 5 nights a week music. And that kind of came to a close because COVID wasn't kind,
Right.
not to the hospitality industry. So from there, we went into sort of breaking my off into the drum side of things, and she's actually a building super of all things. So it really was, I began collecting, and I just had all these great little kits, AOT kits, and old Gretsch kits, and old Ludwig kits, and old WFL kits, and Rogers, and she was like, I pick a path to either the bathroom or the laundry room. So how's about you just kind of clear this out, go open a spot, and that's it, man. That I did the idea. I did my research.
You had a lot of beautiful kids.
Thank
got a
you.
lot of-
Yeah.
When we were there for the
stuff
drum
for
clinic,
sure.
it was just
Yeah,
it was a
having a
beautiful
look
thing.
around. I contacted Steve Maxwell, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Steve, Steve is the premier vintage guru, I would say, of the planet.
Okay.
He's got 2 stores, Chicago and New York, biggest vintage stores in the world. And Steve was so gracious to answer questions for me, to help me. And another one that was also very instrumental was Seppo, Salmon from TRS, Custom
TRS,
Drums.
yeah.
Both of them were really helpful in kind of helping me where to find my niche, to guide me as to where I should start. So we're a plater shop. We do not really do collector's items so much.
Okay.
We do some repairs. We do rentals. We do sales, of course. We have lessons, drum lessons available too. And we have a studio. So similar to your setup here, we've got a fully functioning drum studio with a 32-channel board and interface and so on. So we lay down tracks for
beautiful
people.
board.
And you
Beautiful
saw
room.
it, didn't you?
It's a beautiful room.
And so needless to say, it's got different facets. We do custom drums. TRS is probably, or not probably, is our greatest single line that we carry, but we carry others too. We have some stuff from Dunnett out west, and we have some stuff from local guys too. But for the most part, our focus is, and in fact, Seppo has been gracious enough to have me as one of his endorsees, so I'm pretty blessed that way too.
What's going on, guys? It's T and Adam here.
What's happening?
And we got some Drummers Paradise swag.
Look at this.
Look at the t-shirt.
It's amazing. Beautiful.
Right there, we just wanted to let you all know. Hit up our social media account, Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube channel, Drummers Paradise Podcast. Subscribe, shoot us a message. We could get you fitted in one of these awesome, again, Drummers Paradise t-shirts.
Beautiful quality.
We appreciate all your support towards our channel, and we would love to see you in one. Again, follow, subscribe, and get fitted.
Yeah. Keep grooving.
Have fun
See you next time.
in paradise.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a synopsis.
So you have all these collections of drums and stuff like that. What's your go-to gigging, your playing kit?
Definitely
Walk us
the
down that.
TRS kit.
Yeah, the TRS.
I have a beautiful, so you guys I think have the studio series here, but I have an exotic series, and it's with a ebony macassar veneer on it, and it's just stunning. In fact, I was just, before I got here today, I was doing some recording, and we were tweaking and fiddling. I've got a friend that's a tech. And he helped me out a great deal in terms of getting the reverb correct and gates and so on. And man, oh man, those TRS drums, just a thing.
Oh, yes.
So that is my kit, number one. And then if it's not the TRS kit, I'll sometimes drag around a vintage USA custom Gretsch kit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's and that's what I was playing before I was introduced to Seppo, and that became a binding arrangement.
What about hardware? So what do you match it up with?
You know what? I think Yamaha is just great stuff. I think they're cost effective.
A really lightweight line.
Oh, well, I was using some Crosstown. Now, the only thing I didn't dig too much is I found that the hi-hat didn't have an adjustment.
Okay.
You couldn't adjust the tension. You couldn't adjust the angle of the. So I was kind of about that. I still use Yamaha, but it's not the aluminum.
Right.
Everything else pretty well. Yeah, I've been using a lot of Crosstown. Because I'm old and I'm fat, and I don't want to carry any more than me. I want to carry just me, and not much more. So, but it's a great. They're 600 and 800. They're like all their hardware is solid, well built, lasts a long time. It's roadworthy for certain.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
right.
What about cymbals? What kind of cymbals you got?
I've been playing Veterans. They are a hand-hammered D20 alloy out of Turkey. Directly, you order them, and they just have a warmer tone. I find that they have they still cut, like the crashes and so on. They still cut, but there's a warmth about them and just a slightly longer decay that I like. So
Thinner cymbal, or are they a thicker cymbal?
that's slightly. I mean, you can get different variations of machined a little bit thinner and some, but overall, yeah, they would be maybe a little thinner than average. And I'm using 18 to 19 size crashes, which of course, again, are going to warm up, right, the sound. So, yeah, love them.
It's super cool.
That's amazing. Sean.
Yes, sir.
I got to ask you.
Okay.
What would be your 3 top influential drummers that influence you? I know it's a hard question, but
Yeah, it can be so tough
right?
sometimes.
It could be a very tough,
Okay.
but
1982 or 3, I saw Buddy Rich live.
Ooh,
And
We're coming in hot.
that was close to a religious experience.
yes.
How could it not
He was
be?
an hour and a half late. It was sometime early in the year, like January, February. It was a wicked bad snowstorm, and he almost didn't make it. And it was at our local center in the square, so it's a beautiful theater, about 4,500, 5,000 seats. But acoustics are just pristine. Like, clap your hand and at that level and hear it in the back row. And he was just mesmerizing for me. I was insistent that was how I was going to make my living.
Right.
That was the aha.
It really was. Growing up into high school, Stuart Copeland was probably the most single influential player on what I do now. Lots of rudiments, world rhythms, lots of hi-hat work. I love how he approaches drums. And I don't know if you've ever seen him live.
I have.
But the man looks like he wants to eat his drums when he plays them. He's just like he's hovered around them, and it's like he's going to consume them. Like there's going to be splinters of wood left where the kit used to be. He's
a real life
just a
animal.
monster player. Yeah. Third would be Vinny Colaiuta. Yeah, Vinny to me is the consummate. Throw anything at him. And if you ever get a chance, for those watching, Google or YouTube Vinny Colaiuta, Frank Zappa audition, and it's Steve Vai telling the story, and it's absolutely hysterical. It'll have you crying laughing, because in a nutshell, he was, as you know, a chain smoker. I think he since quit, but he showed up and he always wore glasses. And while he was sight reading the music, he was adjusting his glasses, eating sushi, and changing the pages to, and I don't even remember what the crazy tune from Frank was, but anything from Frank was complex.
Yeah, pretty complex.
And he was reading this while eating a plate of sushi and adjusting his glasses and playing. So
that's
he deserves props, no question. No question.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, I betcha. You betcha.
If there was 3 things you could give advice to an up-and-coming drummer, what would it be?
Learn how to play with a click.
Yep.
Learn the difference between solid and loud, and there is a big difference. I brought that one up, I think, actually, to Paul that day when we had him in the clinic. There's a massive difference between playing dynamically and keeping in time, and just wailing away on the kit.
Yes.
And I would say, I would argue it's really wise to at least have a working knowledge of another instrument other than drums. Piano, guitar, bass, something that helps you appreciate the melodic structure of songs, helps you understand how the arrangement works, why tunes will have, a verse, chorus, bridge in some variation often. I think it makes you a better player, and I think it makes you listen to the other musicians more than just plowing through with, this is the beat, everybody jump aboard.
I think that's great advice, because not too many people actually offer that advice, and I think it's very, very true. If you do have a little bit of a taste in something else, it really helps you navigate music in general, right?
I think so anyway. Like I learned bass, I learned a little bit of piano, and I think it made a big difference in how I play the drums.
Well, that's super cool. So what's the last song you air drum to?
What's the which now?
Last song you air drum to?
I don't know that I have air drums for two. Well, you know what? I will probably sit in my car and do this at red lights or whatever while I'm learning stuff on the stereo.
Yep.
I was never like in the air tonight. I didn't. I don't know, man. I don't know that I ever
pull the Phil Collins.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does that one, right? And I mean, I've certainly replayed the end of Limelight and stuff like that, and just listened to Neil and just how he rolls around I mean, anything, any of that stuff. But I don't know that I've ever sat down.
So you're not an air drummer, like, per se.
No. And I think Marissa would probably slap me if she saw me doing that. What are you doing?
Oh, I love it.
Stop that.
That's the best.
Yeah, air guitar, air drums, kind of. It's for me. It's just a little bit too rock band.
Yeah.
Like I think I know what I'm doing. I look like I know what I'm doing, but I probably don't know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Well, Shan, it's amazing what you're doing for the drum community, especially
Thanks, guys.
here at home within Canada.
Truly
a lot of the drum clinics you're doing and the lessons.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you actually, from someone who has an educational center out of your drum shop.
Yep.
How do you find the youth today? Are they really getting into the percussion instrument and into the drums? Are they enjoying the lessons of it? Are they getting frustrated? Like, what kind of advice do you give?
Yeah, you know what it is, and it's driving me crazy. And I love YouTube for what YouTube is, and I love Google and your ability to extract things offline and be able to watch great players. And this is my right, this is my left, this is my kick, this is the order I'm playing it. But truthfully, it has created an impatience in students that was never there before. Like, I want to be there today. And unfortunately, there's too much online that is giving just enough for a kid to think, oh, I can skip rudiments, I can skip rolls, I can skip reading, I can skip note values. I don't really need to know what a time signature is. I just need to follow him, right? So there's lots of kids that are interested in drumming and interested in rhythms. I think it's probably one of the most innate things in us. But I would argue the proliferation of what's online right now is a two-edged sword. It can be really helpful if you're willing to take the time to learn it properly, but it can be a really ugly downside when it's immediately, I can skip forward 3 steps and be there. And I think that's hurting.
Yeah, it does create a lot of roadblocks in the progression of things later on, right?
Right, and I remember Steve Gadd saying in a clinic once, if they want me, they will hire me. Don't copy what I'm doing, extract things that I've taught you, or that you learned today, but go out and create your own sound.
That's right.
You know, find your own voice, drumming wise, that is. And I just think there's a lot of clones out there.
There is.
And it's too bad because these kids have the ability, but they don't have the patience to want to take the time to learn and be slow and methodical in the process of learn my rudiments, learn my note values, understand what a 16-note triplet is.
Build it from the ground up.
So important, right?
Yeah, build it from the ground up.
You have to.
All the foundation.
You are the foundation of a band.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
So yeah, to answer you, Tyler, yes, there is a lot of people out there who are learning, and we are very methodical in teaching them correctly. Even down to holding the sticks, technique.
That's where it starts.
And then building from there, you know, what's the difference between quarter note, eighth note triplets, 16th note triplets. We even teach 5s and 7s and then 32nd notes and all the rudiments. And then we get them stick control.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys worked out of that book, but I still force kids to syncopation.
Syncopation blew
That's
it away.
another one.
Yeah.
And you know what? Carmen Appis's realistic rock is still the Bible when it comes to rock drumming.
For a lot of drummers.
What a great drum, right?
And people don't realize how much of an influence on Bonham he was. It was actually his beats that Bonham was taking.
Carmine is.
And Vinny Appice and Carmine, right? Both of them.
And then his brother.
Yeah, Vinny had another one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's right. It was in the family for those boys. So what kind of, what do you have coming up for some of your bands? Do you have anything you can share with us?
Well, we just finished the EP with Seeds of Eden, so it's out. You can go to seedsofedenmusic.com and you'll catch. Yeah, you'll catch that. They're all free for download. You just take them. Just take them and listen to them. Yeah, there you go.
Take them.
Ian is working on some new stuff right now, and we just finished Bed Tracks with some guests, and he is doing his thing. I'm out of the picture now, and he's adding different other guest artists with it. As to a release date or when it's going to be available, not so sure. Yeah, okay. Some backup stuff we're doing with a blues singer from England. So we've got some blues festivals that we're doing in the summer with her. Yeah, Alice Armstrong is her name. Cool. And just other than that, we'll leave the phone line open, and when it rings and, you know, they're going to throw me a piece of chicken, off I go. I play drums. Yeah.
Oh, that's the best. I love it. Good stuff. Well, I really appreciate you making the time and coming down here today.
Sure, guys. Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate everything you do for the drum community. It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep doing it and keep teaching everybody the
I'll
proper
do
ways.
my best. I will do my best.
That's amazing. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe, comment below, share this video around, and
bangondrums.com.
Bangondrums.com.
Yeah.
Thanks to Batterista Sales.
Yes.
William Drumheads, Antonian Cymbals. Again, our boy Shan.
Yes.
Thanks guys.
For coming in.
You betcha.
Thanks, Shan. Really appreciate you, brother.
Hey, thank you.
And everybody, again, follow Drummers Paradise Podcast.
All right.
Thank you for your support.
Yep.
And we're out.
We'll see you next time.
In paradise.
Later.